got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky.
Angel Reese walked back onto the court expecting a hero's welcome. After weeks away with that mysterious back injury, this was supposed to be her moment. The lights, the cheers, the packed arena, everything was set up like a grand homecoming. But what actually unfolded was nothing short of brutal. Instead of the roaring ovation she imagined, Angel was met with silence, empty seats, and fans who weren't just unimpressed. They were fed up, and by the time the night was over, the scene had turned into one of the most humiliating moments of her career. The question everyone's asking now, was this the night Angel Reese's hype finally collapsed for good? Angel Reese's return had been hyped for weeks. Social media posts, headlines, and even her own comments painted the picture of a grand comeback, something fans wouldn't want to miss. People expected the Wintrust Arena to be buzzing like a sold-out concert. Every seat filled, the energy electric. But when tip-off came, the reality hit like a brick wall. Instead of a sea of cheering fans, the arena looked hollow. Just 624 people showed up in a building that can hold nearly 9,500. That's almost 3,000 empty seats. Hard to ignore when whole sections looked barren under the spotlight. Instead of thunderous applause, the atmosphere was flat, more like a low-energy midweek scrimmage than the return of a star player. Reese stepped onto the floor clearly expecting admiration, but what she found was indifference. The same crowd she once bragged about drawing was now lukewarm at best, with silence replacing the support she thought was guaranteed. For someone who had been building her brand around being the WNBA's next big thing, that cold shoulder from fans was more than just disappointing. It was humiliating. But if Angel thought the lack of energy in the stands was the worst part of the night, she was in for a much bigger shock once the game actually started. The disappointment in the stands quickly spilled onto the court. From the opening minutes, Angel Reese looked rusty, her rhythm off, and her confidence visibly shaken. Every missed shot, every slow rotation, every moment of hesitation only seemed to magnify the emptiness in the arena. And as if the silence wasn't loud enough, the Chicago Sky's performance made the night even harder to watch. The Sky ended up taking a brutal 94-88 loss to the Seattle Storm, and Angel's return, instead of being a triumphant comeback, turned into a public unraveling. Broadcasters and fans on social media didn't hold back either, highlighting her mistakes, mocking her swagger, and questioning whether she ever deserved the hype in the first place. This was supposed to be the "I'm back" statement game, the one that silenced doubters and reminded everyone why she called herself the face of the WNBA's future. Instead, it became a running joke. Reese was exposed under the bright lights, and the same fans she claimed to inspire were now pointing out that the real story of the night wasn't her return. It was how far her star had already fallen. And yet this was only the beginning, because the truth about Angel Reese's so-called star power, the hype she's been building for months, was about to be dismantled piece by piece. Not long ago, Angel Reese was everywhere, boasting that she was the reason WNBA arenas were selling out. She positioned herself as the draw, the must-see attraction that could single-handedly fill seats. And for a while, some people believed it. After all, there were games where the arenas looked packed, cameras panning over excited crowds, energy buzzing in the air. But here's the part Angel didn't mention. Those seats weren't filled because of her. They were filled because the tickets were practically being given away. Reports showed tickets going for as low as $3, a price cheaper than a fast food meal. When seats are that cheap, of course you'll see people showing up. It wasn't star power, it was a bargain. The hype she was leaning on wasn't built on loyalty or genuine excitement. It was built on discount sales and manufactured buzz. And this is where the reality hits hard. While Reese strutted onto the court believing she was carrying the league on her shoulders, the truth was far less glamorous. The numbers don't lie. The empty rows at Wintrust Arena weren't a coincidence. They were the clearest sign yet that her name alone wasn't enough to put fans in seats. But Angel didn't see it that way. Instead of dialing back the arrogance, she leaned further into it, acting as though she was untouchable. And that's when the cracks in her story started to show, revealing a pattern fans had already grown tired of. If there's one thing fans have noticed about Angel Reese, it's her tendency to vanish when the pressure gets heavy. Whenever the spotlight turns harsh or the losses pile up, she seems to disappear without warning, always with the same excuse waiting in the wings: the mysterious back injury. At first, people gave her the benefit of the doubt. Injuries are part of the game after all. But after the third, fourth, and fifth time of the same story playing out, fans stopped buying it. The timing always felt too convenient, her exits lining up perfectly with bad stretches of play or embarrassing team performances. And here's where the irony cuts deep. Reese herself once bragged that her back was carrying the Chicago Sky all season long. But instead of carrying the team, that back became her safety net, the go-to explanation every time things went sideways. Fans caught on, teammates quietly grew frustrated, and the narrative shifted from tough competitor to unreliable diva. It's a pattern that's hard to ignore. When things are good, Angel is loud, confident, and everywhere. But the second the momentum shifts, she's gone, slipping away behind the same excuse, leaving her team and her supporters to pick up the pieces. And this is exactly why, when you stack her story next to Caitlin Clark's, the difference couldn't be more glaring. Side by side, the contrast between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is impossible to ignore. Clark has been carving her legacy in real time, dropping historic numbers, filling arenas, and proving she belongs at the very top of the game. Fans rally around her not because of flashy social media posts or self-promotion, but because her performance speaks for itself. She's consistent, accountable, and hungry to win. Now look at Angel Reese. Instead of building her reputation on the hardwood, she's leaned heavily into the persona, the it girl image, the Instagram presence, the headlines designed to keep her in the spotlight. On the floor though, the results haven't matched the hype. While Clark elevates her teammates and gives fans a reason to buy tickets, Reese often looks more interested in curating her brand than grinding for victories. The difference shows up in the stands too. When Clark is in the lineup, arenas buzz with anticipation. Seats fill, fans cheer, and the energy feels electric. When she's sidelined, attendance plummets, even if Reese is still playing. That tells the whole story. Fans know where the real star power lies, and this has become the cruelest twist of all for Angel Reese. Every time she tries to claim she's the draw, reality proves otherwise. The fans have spoken with their wallets, with their cheers, and with their silence, and the verdict isn't flattering. But instead of facing that truth, Angel doubled down, setting her sights on something even bigger, something that made fans shake their heads in disbelief. As if the shaky comeback and dwindling fan support weren't already painting a harsh picture, Angel Reese went one step further. In interviews, she hinted at a dream so bold it bordered on delusional, launching her own signature shoe line, something she believed could rival Michael Jordan's legendary Air Jordans. The comparison alone stunned people. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball, he was basketball. His influence transcended the game, shaping global culture, fashion, and even identity. Entire generations camped outside stores for his sneakers, treating them like sacred artifacts. And here was Angel Reese, a player who couldn't even pack out a 9,500-seat arena, talking about becoming the next Jumpman. The reality is hard to ignore. To build a sneaker empire, you need superstar status, global influence, and a fan base so loyal they'll spend hours in line just to wear your name. Reese doesn't check a single one of those boxes. She's not filling arenas, her game isn't dominating headlines for the right reasons, and her support is built more on internet noise than genuine loyalty. Instead of sounding like the next big cultural movement, her sneaker talk felt like a punchline. Critics didn't see the future of Air Jordans. They saw bargain bin flip-flops sitting untouched on a Walgreens shelf. And if fans weren't already questioning her sense of reality, this comparison sealed it. But while her off-court ambitions were mocked, her actual performance on the floor gave critics even more fuel. Because when you dig into the stats, the truth about Angel Reese is even harder to ignore. On paper, Angel Reese's stat line from her return didn't look terrible. 19 points and 7 rebounds sounds respectable, but numbers without context can be deceiving. Dig a little deeper, and the flaws start screaming out. For one, she's the most blocked player in the entire WNBA. Defenders read her like an open book, anticipating her every move and turning her attempts into highlight reel swats. For someone who claims to be the face of the league, that's a brutal stat to carry. And it's not just about her being blocked. The way she scores tells its own story. Most of her makes come off simple putbacks, easy buckets any player at this level should finish. When the game demands finesse, precision, or a go-to move, Reese struggles. Even her efficient nights are riddled with bricked layups and clumsy finishes that frustrate fans as much as they entertain opponents. But the problems go beyond the box score. Her attitude on the floor, eye rolls, dismissive shrugs, and smug smirks doesn't inspire teammates. It alienates them. Take Camila Cardoso, for example. During Reese's absence, Cardoso was thriving, stepping into her own and proving she could dominate. Yet the moment Angel came back, Cardoso's production nosedived, as if Reese's presence disrupted the rhythm instead of building it. And that's the real indictment. Great players elevate the team around them. Angel Reese? She drags the energy down. Instead of being the spark that fuels the sky, she's become a weight they're forced to carry. And fans, watching it unfold game after game, are losing patience fast. Which leads to the bigger question. If this is the best Angel Reese has to offer, what does she really represent for the WNBA's future? Angel Reese came into the league crowned as the Bayou Barbie, a nickname that carried both swagger and promise. She was marketed as the next big star, the personality who could draw headlines and bring fresh eyes to the WNBA. But now that shine has started to fade and a new nickname has emerged, one far less glamorous, Bricklayer Barbie. Instead of dominating the game, she's become known for missed layups, blocked shots, and a highlight reel that benefits her opponents more than her own team. Her attitude, once seen as confidence, now comes off as arrogance. The gestures, the trash talk, the brand-first mindset, it all feels hollow when the results on the court don't back it up. Meanwhile, players like Caitlin Clark are redefining what it means to be a leader. Clark is filling arenas, breaking records, and winning fans with both her skill and her resilience. Every game she plays feels like history in the making. Reese, on the other hand, is stuck in the narrative she created for herself, clinging to hype that fans are no longer buying. And the message from the crowd couldn't be clearer. The empty seats, the silence, the backlash, they all point to the same truth. The Bayou Barbie image doesn't sell anymore. Fans aren't looking for a persona, they're looking for performance. And unless Angel Reese can flip the script fast, her story risks becoming one of the quickest hype-to-fall transitions the league has ever seen. So now the question lingers. Is Angel Reese still the WNBA's next big thing, or is she already yesterday's headline? Angel Reese's return was supposed to be a celebration, a star stepping back into the spotlight, ready to silence doubters and prove she belonged among the league's best. Instead, it turned into one of the most humiliating nights of her career. Empty seats, a shaky performance, and fans who made it clear they were no longer buying into the hype. The cold reality is hard to ignore. Her brand is louder than her game, her excuses are piling up, and the numbers don't match the confidence she projects. For someone once hailed as the WNBA's future, she now finds herself fighting to prove she's even part of its present. Meanwhile, the league has already found its true spark in Caitlin Clark, a player whose impact is undeniable, whose leadership is respected, and whose presence fills arenas no matter where she goes. The contrast couldn't be sharper, and so we're left with the brutal question: is Angel Reese still on the rise, or has her moment already passed? Has the Bayou Barbie era ended before it truly began, leaving behind nothing more than a trail of hype, disappointment, and what-ifs? Only time will tell, but one thing's for certain: fans are watching and patience is running out.